All right, I kind of jumped around. This is an unrehearsed video. Let me just explain what I did here with the snare. I put reverb on the snare because I just wanted to show you reverb, and then I hated it. So I created this weird thing here where the drums took a snare to effects aux send to this master right here. And the drums are now going through this. They got gated, so only the snare's playing, and then I sent that to this plate reverb, and I made sure this whole channel didn't go to the stereo bus. So this snare effects goes to here, gets gated, then goes to here, then goes to the reverb, and then comes back. And I created a snare-only reverb, which is pretty cool. Anyway, you can play with it and come up with a snare reverb you like, but I just added some snare to it. I don't actually like that at all. In fact, I like it so little, I want to find another reverb. I'm going to go over to gear, and I'll find something else. I don't know. How about that one? Sure. Let's do this sound there. Well, that sounds terrible. That didn't work at all, did it? How about, ooh, let's go 80s, and I'll take the RMX here and use non-lin. This will sound good. Can't really hear it. Maybe I need to send a little more to it. Hear what's going on? Just a kick and snare are going to the reverb. It's kind of cool. Anyway, I just want to demo that. So you want to keep moving with your mix, trying some other cool stuff. The bass, bring it into your mix. Bass might need a little low end, so you add a little low end to it, just a hair. A little bit more aggressive frequencies in the upper mids to kind of help the bass cut out. And of course, we need to compress. And I mentioned it in my little compression lecture, which I think you should have tried. Go find a simple compressor like an LA208, 2 knobs here. Set your compression. You can get kind of aggressive with the bass. Like, it doesn't have to, you don't have to obey the -6 rule when you're starting out, but definitely go in it, go big. Hear what it sounds like? It's really compressed. And then kind of dial it back to where you think it fits. Kind of like it's on a subtle. And go in and out of bypass. Yeah, a little more gain. Keep checking that. Cool. So I'll put that in the... And let's visit those acoustic guitars. I think that compression I put on earlier is not a bad idea. And let's bypass. It's adding a little gain already for us, so we're gonna... That's all right. And maybe I add a little crispies on here, a little bit of brightness to kind of... And when I listen to the bass, do I need to thin the bottom end of the guitar just slightly? Kind of, so it doesn't interfere with the bass. Let's hear it with the drums now. And this is the point, maybe. So kind of a fancy trick here with the drums. They didn't sound as compressed as the bass. How do I compress the drums without squishing them too much? I'm doing some fancy trick here. This is way beyond beginning mixing, but I'm going to put a little parallel compression on the drums. So I'm going to do this cool DVX 160. It's really fast. Let's over compress for a moment. Let's hear what it sounds like. This is a really awesome compressor. Hear what I'm doing there? Isn't that awesome sounding? Now, you can wet dry this thing and mix this awesome over compressed signal with the direct sound. Get the best of both worlds. So this is in bypass. And that's with compression. Some people call this New York City compression, so I've got the super compressed mixing with the non-compressed. This might make it a little bit more aggressive and rock and roll to go with the bass and guitar thing that I just did. I'm hoping, acoustic. Sounds like I need to take a little bit more low end out of the acoustic. Maybe even like a shelf. Maybe I'm a little rich in that area. And we'll hear the electric guitar here. That one's cool. That could definitely have some of that awesome plate reverb on it. Did you notice what I just did? I held Option down and I drug plate over. And yes, I could compress this if I wanted, but we'll just not do that for the moment. But delay might be kind of nice. Delay is always cool. So what I'm going to do is go in second aux send off to, say, bus 7 and turn it up. Going to name it delay. And my reverb return here, the plate, I'm going to duplicate it. And I'm going to rename it and change everything. So I'm waiting for it to catch up with me. So I'm going to now call this delay. And I need to go change the input to come from the delay. And I do not need Altiverb anymore. In fact, I want to find a delay. And a good delay to start with is Echo Boy Jr., made by Soundtoys. So we'll bring that up. And I don't know exactly what kind of delay I want. I know I want it 100% wet because I'm using sends and returns. But you got a couple different modes over here. Maybe I want a Memory Man, which is kind of like a lo-fi analog delay. That sounds kind of cool. And it's doing eighth notes. Let's hear how that sounds in the mix. A little too much, so I will turn down the send to it. Like that. And maybe I'll hear the jangle guitar. That needs delay too. Right? Doesn't the delay sound awesome? Maybe I'll put a little compressor, maybe your old standard LA2A, 1176 kind of thing here. And we'll, oh, it sounds great. It's a little over compressed, so I'm going to bring down the input level, which acts as the threshold on 1176. Let's show you what it's doing. So bringing up the output level so you can really check it. Getting kind of aggressive. I'm going to change it. No, I liked it in black mode. And we're going to check it here. Starting to sound like a pop mix. It'd be nice to have a little bit more reverb on the drums to sound like a pop record. So I'm going to turn up this snare to effects here. And it's kind of the wrong reverb, so I need to make it a little longer on the snare drum over here. Let's change this out one more time. The plate wasn't horrible, but there could be maybe a better plate. I don't know. This one's pretty good. You've tried this. I've used this before. So that's way too freaking long, so way too loud, so we're going to turn that down. Let's hear that in the mix. We got a little rough mix, so we're doing pretty awesome. If you were considering average level at this point, let's see where I'm at. I'm averaging about right about where I want to be, -14. I'm going to bring my limiter in. Again, this is optional at this stage in your mixing, but you can a couple dB louder, and I've got a little compression going on. That's the stereo bus limiter. And I'll stop right there, and I'll make one last video about what I would do with the lead vocal, okay? Thank you. Bye-bye.